Okay, so Mark, poor Yoshi, who lost his life at the beginning of the event. You knew him pretty well.
He was a friend for many years, racing in the Macau Grand Prix back in China, and he's one of those good friends that you never really have long conversations with because of the language barrier, but we were always exchanging big smiles and firm handshakes and a lot of mutual respect there, and dancing like idiots, on the late nights in Macau, way too much beer, and he always had a bit of an entourage. He had his interpreter, and he had his photographers with him, and a few of his mechanics. So there was always sort of a family that he would have, and all of his friends and all of us. Just super special guy. Really amazing that his first practice.
Yeah, first lap, second lap,
something like that.
Yeah, crazy. And how does, without getting too involved on a personal level, but how does that affect your appetite, your preparation, when something like that just happens?
Well, the cliche is that you know the risk, and nobody puts a gun up to your head. To do this race, but putting the romanticism aside, and the reality of it is, it does affect you, because the more often it happens, the more times you realize it can, and it does. I've lost several friends now in the few years I've been doing this. A couple before I even got to the race, some really good friends. And when it occurs to people that you really know and love, it does make you question how much do you want to do it. What's the reward? What's the price? What's the potential risk? And you have to weigh those odds and ask yourself, is it worth it to keep doing it? You also you remember that portion of the racetrack every single time you go by there. There's David Jeffries, passed away at a certain corner, Dobbsy from New Zealand, and now Yoshi, in a particular kind of a hairy jump on the racetrack.
I was there last night.
Hitting that jump just a little bit, just more exacting to make. I'm always hitting it like straight. You're trying to do the very best no matter what. But now you have this thought every single time you go through that section. You're like, my boy.
It must be. It's a strange event, a strange place. I don't know anywhere else that has almost a reputation. What about Macau? Because that's quite you wouldn't want to fall off at Macau.
It doesn't happen very often, to be honest.
No,
guys don't usually get killed at Macau, though we did lose Lewis last year. For Portugal. There was also another smiling, handshaking, dancing like morons, friends in tow.
Cranky
losses,
But it doesn't. You're still a firm fan of the event. You still think the event is should carry on.
Yeah, it's not a. To me, it's just not even a question of should it, because it does, and so therefore, if you migrate to participate in it, it's something that pulls you. It's happening. So I don't know how many people have ever done this race against their best wishes. You know what I mean? You almost fight, claw, and steel to do it. And to be fair, they have a couple hundred people turned down every year. That they turn away, and it's not just because of money or anything. It's because they need the best guys they can get their hands on. Who will be safe and has the pedigree and the experience. It's just no joke. Riding around on the street is it's a hell of a lot more safer than pushing and pushing and pushing. And normally on short circuit races, you push until you crash. And then you kind of notch it back. You learn something from it. You change. But you've got gravel traps, and all the fans and the walls are pulled way back. You could crash 100 times in short circuit races, and maybe break your leg. Out here, you might get away with it once, which I did once in 2009. And then you'd be hard pressed to do it. I think who was it? A boy from Scotland did it twice in 1 year, but in the rain, I think he slid to a stop a couple times. But boy, you're asking for it. It doesn't get much dangerous than this. This is virtually zero error, which is very unusual, because not only do we make errors as human beings, motorcycle racers pushing their limits make mistakes all the time. It's part of the sport. And out here to have 2 weeks exposure to
Yeah.
0 error is very unique.
Well, it is, and I guess if you run the statistics, it's there aren't that many accidents. It's sad to say that when they are accidents, they are pretty bad normally. How did that affect you the day after? Were you more in the mind of, I'll do this for him,
No, I mean,
compartmentalize it and move on?
this race is extremely selfish.
Yeah.
You do this for yourself. You put you basically disregard, to be honest, those who love you and would rather not see you wrap yourself around a pole.
Yeah.
So once you're out there, it's just you. You actually have your, I hate to say destiny, but you have your safety in the fingertips.
Yeah.
In your fingertips at every 10th of a second.
Yeah, yeah.
You are in control of your fate.
Yeah.
And if you were to just go, I don't really care for 1 second.
Yeah.
That's enough at those speeds.
There's no rest.
A half
There's
a
no
second. You cannot fuck up. And if you do, that's your ass. So it's very selfish. And I would never say I'm going to do this for my friend or he's going to help keep me safe. It's just nonsense. It wouldn't be the truth.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that you respect. One, it's hard to do, but you try not to laugh so easily.
Yeah.
The rest of the fortnight, the rest of your life, you should respect the fact
Yes.
that everybody who ever loved him, especially his parents and those closest to him, I guess he had a daughter and stuff, are mourning. And we can very easily forget because it's such an atmosphere of knowing we're capable of killing ourselves. You could be having a pint the very evening of a fatality, and then you find yourself laughing your ass off about something stupid in the pub.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, wait a minute, maybe we should just sort of pull back here.
Yeah.
And respect the fact that somebody really got messed up today, and it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't fun for him to experience. Obviously, very blunt, very awful, very scary, and God knows what he went through. And you do think about that once in a while, what that might feel like. But the choice has already been made to do the race. The choice has already been made before you got here to do the race.
Yeah.
So there's no second guessing once you do it.
Yeah.
And the safest way to accomplish this undertaking is to do it flat out and to do it with both barrels and both eyes forward and your maximum effort. That's the safest.
Yes.
And the most chances of getting through it safely.
Yes. Riders don't do slow very well. So, yeah.
So there's no second guessing it. Just because there's a fatality, if you will, there's no reason to then reevaluate.
No.
Your approach. Your approach has always been absolutely the best you possibly could anyway, regardless of a recent death. So.
And then there's time afterwards for whatever reflections and what have you.
I was so sad that night when I heard about it, and so sad the next morning, and so sad all day. And that's basically all you can do because that's emotion. You can't really turn off emotions very easily.
No.
You can get back to work, but it's so permanent.
Yeah.
When you hear it, it's a little bit like, oh wow, we lost another one, and then after a while, you start realizing, no, we lost Yoshi.
Still lost
that guy, our friend.
Yeah.
And my teammate last year, Mark Buckley, was killed just before the TT in the Northwest.
That's right.
I miss him. I think that's the main thing. We're all going to die soon of old age anyway. We're here for a split second. But while we're here, I miss my boy. I miss my friend. So this is what really counts selfishly is that I miss my friend, because he's always been there, and you expect to see him in the pub and give him a big kiss on the cheek when he's too drunk to stand up, and big hugs and stuff like that, and all that.
I leave the drunken man stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic, and you're tucking into a chicken burger, so I guess you're starting your pre-race prep.
Yep, need some fuel.
We'll not dwell on this sad topic any longer, but thank you for being candid. There's not many who would talk about it, I think.
It's part of it.
Well,
the realities of the situation, to be fair.
It is, but I don't think. I think to the outsider, it might almost be attributed to like a state of denial while the event's going on.
Some of that.
People are just, but it's not like it's not as if you're ignoring it or forgotten or disrespecting it. It's just about we can't do that now. We have this to do.
It's true.
And if we take our eye off the ball, as you say, then
there's another cliche that I don't subscribe to, which is he died doing what he loved. Oh, but the thing is there was a failure. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
Doing something that was that you didn't want to fail. You wanted it to work, and for him to come off that jump sideways.
Yeah.
And tank slap into a tree.
Yeah.
And remove all the bark off the tree.
Yeah.
It means that if you were to have a chat with him after the fact, after he died, and go, "What do you think?" He goes, "God fucking damn it!
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't I hit that straight? Why the I was on the new 600s on the Taiko Suzuki, and it was running good. I don't normally do 600s, and it was singing like a banshee, and everything was going great. And I just forgot that I had to kind of. I thought maybe I had another split second before you get straight and then you jump. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was a failure.
You'd be annoyed at it.
I'm not going to celebrate the fact that he did it. I'd rather
that's a good outlook.
Fall off a cliff by accident as a tourist.
Yeah.
Because then it was like a dumb thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't doing what he was precisely trying not to do.
No, that's true.
But there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and something went wrong, and that's like, you don't want that. You'd rather trip and hit your head on the sink. Go dumbass. That was that's par for the course.
No, he's yes, very scary business. But well, thank you for being honest. It's
Exactly.
when I've talked to racers before, when this sort of things happen, it's they're a bit tight-lipped usually. But good man. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
And we'll catch up with you later on this evening.
Anytime, my friend.